Wildcats right here in Gainesville. She gets one more shot today.
And we are underway from Exact Tech Arena. Thayer Hall, number 20, and White gets the first kill of this match. Hall, who has been a steady presence and force for the Gators all year long.
Proving us right, her impact right out of the gate.
And Hall, the sophomore outside hitter from Spartanburg, South Carolina, is on the serve. Lily with the bump set on the outside. Leah Edmond met with the block from the Gators. Edmond going back at it again, and she gets it. Leah Edmond, who is the Wildcats' career kills leader. She has been dynamic throughout her career.
On her first attack, Lauren Dooley was able to close the block. Second attack, Lauren Dooley not able to make her way all the way out to the antenna. This Kentucky offense is fast. It's coming at you. They're going to make it difficult on Florida's block.
Harley Carlton just using a little nice touch to get it over the block. Carlton, the All-American who transferred in from the University of North Carolina. She has been a reliable presence for Mary Wise's group. Lily trying to set. Kendall Paris and Paige Hammonds and company say, no, thank you.
And Paige Hammonds has become such a great five-tool player for Florida, meaning she can produce for them in every aspect of the game, blocking one of them.
Craig Skinner, in his 15th season as the Kentucky head coach, said serving would be an important piece of the game. And right there you see an ace on the other side from Allie Gregory.
Craig Skinner was very happy with the way Kentucky served in that meeting against Florida on their home court. He felt like after that match they had losses to Georgia and A&M, and they weren't serving as well. Florida will admit they did not serve well in the first meeting, hoping to turn that around today.
Net violation on the Gators, and the Wildcats cut the lead in half early on. Both teams coming in with 12 wins in the conference. We mentioned Kentucky handing Florida their only loss of the season. You just mentioned the other two Wildcat losses. And so for Madison Lilly, this is a chance for her group to gain some ground, and they have had success here in Gainesville as Kentucky has won the last 3 on the road against Mary Wise's group.
And the only meeting between these two last year was in Lexington with the SEC's round robin and a half. You don't always get an opportunity to play opponents on your home court.
Rachel Kramer coming out of the middle. Kramer, a two-time All-American and one of those seniors who was hungry for a win against the Wildcats.
Well, Rachel Kramer playing like a senior in the big matches, in those must-have moments. She had 16 kills in Lexington. I think she's going to be an X factor for Florida again today.
Season high for her last month. Leah Edmond, meanwhile, continues to kill the ball at such a high rate, about 4.2 kills per set for the senior out of Lexington. So we take a look at Mary Wise in her 29th season, and her group is home for the first weekend in November, having won now 10 straight matches with the sweep of LSU on Friday. Rachel Kramer off of 1 foot with the kill.
And a huge response from Mary Wise up off the bench. It's not just a kill for Rachel Kramer, it's a kill behind the setter. An area where Florida middles have not been able to convert early on this season. They're still not asking that of Lauren Dooley, their freshman, but certainly asking it of their senior Rachel Kramer, and she's producing.
Paige Hammonds, who has been on a tear as of late, getting it done from the service line.
On Friday night, Florida served it so well against LSU here on their home court, and that was a good sign for the Gator staff to see their team looking comfortable in Gainesville, taking advantage of that home court, and they pick up where they left off, looking really strong from the service line today.
Hammonds from the Bluegrass State out of Louisville, serving again. This time the kill on the other side from the sophomore outside hitter, Allie Stumler. She was last year's SEC Freshman of the Year.
And notice these kills from the pins for Kentucky are coming in situations where Madison Lilly's making good choices and then getting the ball there quickly. Again, Florida's middle not able to close. And if you give Leah Edmond and Allie Stumler a hole that big, it's disastrous for the defense.
Into the net, the service error, and it awards a point to Florida. They're up 8-4. So Chanel Hargraves in to serve. And interestingly enough, Missy, this is a Sunday match. Everyone knows what's at stake here in Gainesville. But on each serve thus far, the crowd here at Exactech Arena is kind of quiet.
So much anticipation of what's to come.
Monterey sets Hammonds. She just hits it out of the back row.
When we talk about both of these coaches mentioning serving as we talked to them prior to this match and over the course of the season, they've also both mentioned defending the back row attack. It is a key piece. Both of these teams do not hesitate to use their outside hitters, and I don't mean one, but both outside hitter out of the back row, and defending that back row attack could become very important today.
On the serve, Lauren Thart. Marley Monterey to Thayer Hall and dug out by Gabby Curry, the libero. And out of the back row, you talked about that attack. And there it was from Leah Edmond.
And how about the set from Madison Lilly? The timing, the choice, the placement. Lauren Dooley had started to make a close to the right antenna. Madison Lilly sees her and chooses to set Leah Edmond out of the back row. No block again for Leah Edmond.
Edmond already with 3 of the 6 kills. Points rather for Kentucky.
And in a rare situation, Florida choosing to set Lauren Dooley behind. So a new wrinkle in their offense doesn't go well, but will they continue to use that? And are they just trying early to force this Kentucky defense to be honest, to have to defend?
And the service ace ties it up at 8-all. Lauren Tharp with the service ace. And it's a 4-0 run for the visitors. Tipped over. Here's Lilly. And Meyer. And just down the seam and Curry. There looked to be some communication error between her and Leah Edmond.
And Gabby Curry would love to have this one back. Not a hard hit ball from Florida. Gabby Curry could have easily made a play on that. She did some of the hardest hit balls in the country. And that, as you said, just miscommunication. But credit Florida for staying with it, keeping the ball in bounds and forcing an error there.
Puts it up for Stumler, and Stumler hits it in the sweet spot.
And Florida typically asks their off blocker to make the move across the court and pick up that off-speed shot. So Kentucky challenging Thayer Hall there to make that move, forcing her not to focus on offense alone, but filling her plate with a lot of responsibility.
And that one going into the net off the hand of Stumler. Thus far, Missy, what have you seen in terms of body language between these two teams, understanding that this match has great importance?
I like the fact that they both certainly understand the gravity of this match, but they're playing pretty loose. I like that early. I don't see the tightness that maybe I've seen from these teams in the past.
And Stumler hits it too hard. And really, both of these teams are coming off of really good offensive performances there, just a miss hit by Stumler.
And look at Stumler. This is Stumler, folks, coming out of the back row. She jumps behind the 3-meter line. She lands so close to the net, she almost looks like a right side attacker, but she's out of the back row with that big swing just long.
Right there, Hammonds with the block, hits it back now. Lilly over to Edmond. Leah Edmond is one of those players who has just, again, been so stellar throughout her career, most productive in a Kentucky uniform.
We talked to Craig Skinner about her importance to this program of the last 4 years, the mark she would leave, and he said, I don't think you can say there's ever been anyone more productive than Leah Edmond, and the fact that she's still productive in tight situations at end of the matches, he said, we'll remember that and we'll miss that. They certainly will.
Bump set, here's Edmond going forward and just gets the deep corner. It falls just inside the boundary line. 5 kills now for Edmond in this first set.
And when we talk about being productive in the hard situations, I tell you, Florida has the matchup they want. They have Lauren Dooley at 6'6", Holly Carlton at 6'7", across the net from Leah Edmond, and she is still putting points up on the board.
Third service error now for the Wildcats, gifting a point to Florida. They're up 12-11. The attack into the hands, and Kendall Parrish evens it up at 12 all.
And Paige Hammonds has a lot being asked of her right now because they're allowing Dooley or Kramer in the middle to shade toward the right and try to defend the big left side attack. So it's been one-on-one after one-on-one for Paige Hammonds, who's gotten the best of those in 2 out of her 3 attempts.
Bump set, and that was really just all out of system, as a great save there by Gregory, but the Gators trailing by 1. Madison Lilly, the junior out of Overland Park, Kansas, on the serve. And again, they have not been as successful or sharp as they'd like, I would say, from behind the service line, Kentucky so far.
Their 4th service error. 4 points they have handed to Florida, allowing them to tie it up here at 13-13. Those are critical giveaways.
This one just touches the top of the net. And our first look at Ajani Teeler.
And Ajani Teeler will typically swing from the right side for Kentucky, but one of the things I like so much about Ajani Teeler, Allie Stumler, Leah Edmond, is that they are comfortable swinging from either pin. So in serve receive, you don't, as a setter, don't have to worry about, that's Ajani out there, she won't like this set. She goes right up and takes the rip at it. This is only a freshman for Kentucky who's worked her way into the lineup here late in the season.
And that one, the Gators just watch bounce right in, and the Wildcats are the first to 15 off the Leah Edmond ace. The Wildcats up by 2 early.
This match by 2 points. So while they've given away a few points, they continue to be really aggressive, and that's paying off.
Hammonds, deep corner pocket shot pays off, and to your point, Missy, it was Florida who jumped out to an 8-4 lead, and since then, Kentucky has gone on an 11-6 run. That touches the tape, and the ace for Hammonds.
And we said it moments ago, what a 5-tool player she's become, producing points at the net with her blocking. She's become a great attacker over the month of November. She's served aces for this team. She's heavily dependent on in serve receive. She does so much for the Gators.
Already the 7th tie of the match, and Allie Gregory hits it out over the antenna. And Kentucky reclaims the lead. Gregory, who is one of the best liberos in terms of digs. Joust at the net. Kept alive. Stumler just almost looks like it mishit, but finds the right angle and gets it across.
One of the things Craig Skinner said about his team, his middles in particular, and I think his young outside, Allie Stumler, is that they're able to manage the match, even in what he described as those out-of-whack situations. Look at this. Play looks broken. They're able to step in and clean it up and finish that off with a really smart swing by the young sophomore.
Pushed over by Kramer. Here's Stumler, 17, and Black, and Hammonds keeps a hand on it. Monterey sets it up for Hall. Excellent job by the Gators offense.
And that time, Florida playing well in an out-of-system situation. A bump set to Thayer Hall, who winds up and chops it off the block. A really nice shot when she had 2 blockers waiting on her and not a lot of choices.
Chanel Hargraves on the serve, the senior from Tampa, usually coming in and serving situations. Behind her is Lily setting Teeler. Here's Thayer Hall coming back the other way and gets the hammer down.
And this, folks, is a hard ball to swing at. The weight by Thayer Hall, the patience as the ball comes over her shoulder on a high bump set out of the back row. Riley Fisher, great job hanging it up in a place where Thayer Hall can still take a rip out of it.
So close to net, it's the overpass, and Lauren Dooley takes full advantage.
And that's a great serve by Chanel Hargraves, one of their seniors back there at the service line, putting pressure on these Kentucky passers.
Sets Teeler again, and Teeler with that heavy arm coming off that right pin.
And the depth of this Kentucky roster. That position has been played by Caitlin Cooper for most of this season, but she's been nursing a stress fracture in her foot since the spring. Coach Skinner said, she was not able to practice last week. She is available, but we don't know how much we would use her. We don't know if she's in a position where she could start, where she could play a whole match. She's very much day to day. And, he said, I'm not trying to blow smoke and mirrors here. He said, we just don't know with her. But what a luxury to have this freshman, Ajani Taylor, coming on so strong.
Curry with the dig, keeping it going. Gregory on the other side. Here's Thayer Hall trying to go right at the Wildcats. Hall jumping again. Gregory with the save. The free ball for Kentucky. Who does Lily set? Allie Stumbler. Well, she has been money for you all year long. Why not?
And Kentucky just outplays Florida in that rally. 2 beautiful transition digs by Paige Hammonds, I believe, had one, and Allie Gregory, and Florida not able to convert. Where Florida has been really good off first contact and serve receive at times over the course of the season, they've got to be that good in transition as well.
Tough pass there from Hammonds. Stumbler again, and Wiley Fisher hits it, but a net violation against the Gators. Florida's spin
home court as they upset Texas A&M. They still entertain Ole Miss. So some big names ahead for the Wildcats, and Florida as well still has to go to Georgia. They host Texas A&M still this season. So while there's a lot on the line here today, there's a lot of volleyball ahead as well.
All getting ready, and this one bounces off the net, and it almost caught Monterey by surprise, and that's one way you can get a service ace.
Both of these teams being so aggressive and serving low and tight to that net tape, and that time Tharp gets a nice lucky roll there, but it is by design that these teams are serving it low and tight to the net, driving balls at these passers.
And that ends a 4-0 run for Kentucky, but that one may have hit the antenna, and I think the officials will have a quick discussion. Michelle Prater.
And so the question would be, did it hit the antenna off the hand of Thayer Hall, or did it hit the antenna off the Kentucky block?
And it looked like off of the hand of Hall.
I thought so too. That was my initial thought.
It's kind of tough to see from that angle, but we're sitting right here, and Michelle Prater was slow to make that call. But she and William Stanley had a quick discussion about it. The point is awarded to Kentucky, so they've run off 5 straight points now against the Gators.
And the change we're going to see here is that Florida is going to flip into a 6-2. Holly Carlton, who typically comes out of the match across the back row, will now be inserted back into the back row, and she will set in this rotation. They've taken Marlene Monserrat off the court as she's a front row setter right now in a smaller block, and they go with Warner, a sophomore who has had limited playing time over the course of this season, who will now play right front for Florida. It gives them 3 attackers and 3 big blockers.
Tharp too strong, and so we won't even get to see Warner as she checks back out, and Monterey is in.
And with that, as you mentioned, Holly Carlton rotates right back up to the front row where she'll be an attacker, and they bring Monterey back in across the back.
Well, it's nice to have that versatility when you have a player like Carlton who has the ability to set, but Monterey, who has been the quarterback of this offense, and tooling the block is Leah Meyer.
Again, Florida asking a lot of those left sides, and Paige Hammonds and Thayer Hall, who take so many rips at the ball, carry such a load offensively, and now being asked to defend that slide one-on-one there at the left antenna. That's a tall order.
Gregory, Monserrat, and Dooley. Lauren Dooley gets it done.
Thayer Hall to serve for the Gators.
Welcome into Gainesville, 23-20. Kentucky with the advantage in set number 1 of the 11th ranked Florida Gators. It's the Wildcats who have won their last 3 here against Florida. And they are 1 point away from taking the opening set on the road. Missy Whittemore, Tiffany Green with you, and it's been a combination of Allie Stumler and Leah Edmond. The junior libero on the serve for set point, and gives it over to the Gators.
And a gutsy call there by Thayer Hall, who follows that one all the way back to the end line and lets it drop.
Well, 6 service errors in this first set for Kentucky. You see the aggressiveness, but also some of the miscues that have allowed Florida to remain in this match as Kendall Parrish decides to end it all in set number 1. Kentucky claims it with a 25-21 score. We'll come back to Exact Tech Arena to see set number 2 when you return.
One of those feisty defensive teams, and yet to take their game to a new level in terms of the offense that they've been able to provide this year. And I think that's the next step for them in terms of success in extending their run in the NCAA tournament.
And here come the Gators out the box hot for the first point in set number 2. Thayer Hall leads the way with 5 kills for the Gators. Back to serve, Marley Monterey, the setter for this group, and Lauren Dooley just says, I'm gonna just take care of it, dumps it over.
That's a must-have for Florida. When you serve it that well, Marley Monterey does everything she's supposed to do from the service line. Lauren Dooley's got to put that one away. Those are the gimme points.
Monterey, who is the SEC setter of the week after coming off a really good performance, a career-high 63 assists against Ole Miss, and this one just falls short of the net. Point Kentucky.
And Lauren Dooley there, not a lot of experience. This is her first year playing for Florida. That's going to be a hard ball to play below the net. I think your best chance is you have a player who can go up above the net and get a hand on that ball, but Dooley sort of backs off and allows the elder statesman to step in and try to make a play.
Hammonds, Monterey, and number 40, Holly Carlton, was denied on that left side from the block of Leah Edmond and Leah Meyer. The Leahs have it.
Holly Carlton, a big arm for this Florida team, but only 8 kills in those 5 sets in the first meeting between these two. She's a very consistent player for Florida, and I think Coach Wise challenged her after the first meeting between these two. So it's good to be consistent, but sometimes you got to find the floor, and we'll see how she performs here today. That's a nice swing by Thayer Hall. Again, in the not-so-perfect situations, can you find kills? Can you better the ball? So if it's not a perfect pass, second contact has to be a little better, and third contact has to be a lot better.
The All-American and All-SEC performer for the Gators. Hall on the serve. Leah Edmond trying to hit that line, goes down and it gets it. That's one area where she has gotten so much better, is the variety of shots that she's been able to hit.
Her range, her spray chart, if you want to look at it that way, 2 huge blockers. First of all, the placement of the set for her to be able to hit line. She's not trapped into those 2 big blockers, and then her accuracy to go down the line.
Curry tried to save that one, unable to do so. Paige Hammonds, who we've mentioned does everything, a 6-rotation player for Mary Wise, and she was big in that match against LSU in that final set. 8 of her 13 kills came in the third set.
And Paige Hammonds, along with Allie Gregory, who just missed that serve, both hail from the state of Kentucky. So this matchup has to be pretty important to them.
Madison Lilly, the serve for the Wildcats.
Both out of Louisville, Kentucky. Both Gregory and Hammonds. Madison Lilly. 2 Hammonds. Monterey and 40 Carlton. Gators coming at it again. Back row attack. Thayer Hall is just one of those players who is just such a great competitor. She's going to get it done anyway.
Yeah, that's what I love about her. She's not going to give up on a ball. She's, as you said, it's the competitive fire in her that she and Leah Edmond match each other step for step in that area.
And Teeler, watch her get up, and that one does not bounce in. So point goes to Florida. They lead 6-4.
Najani Teeler coming off of a career night at South Carolina. She had a fantastic performance for them there. career 12 kills. And they don't hesitate to use her. Madison Lilly right back to her after the miss. This time she just uses the little tip shot and finds some open space.
68-88 clip against the Gamecocks. And you like that decision for Lilly, just giving her hitters more confidence?
I think so, especially a freshman. You don't want to allow that error time to brew, time for her to second guess herself. You want to feed her confidence, and I think going right back to her does just that.
Saved by Monterey, free ball over. They set up Allie Stumler. Stumler sees a launching Riley Fisher.
Good choice there by Hall to keep them out of system.
Here's Paige Hammonds. Lilly gets a hand on it. Bump set, players run into each other for the Wildcats. They keep it alive. Hammonds again, this time. It goes for the Gators.
All the credit to Paige Hammonds. I think Florida desperately needed to win one of those long rallies, one of those battles, because they've consistently been going to Kentucky, and it's Paige Hammonds who puts the final stamp on it for Florida.
We talk about Paige Hammonds being from the state of Kentucky, was Miss Kentucky Volleyball, and she gives her Florida Gators a service ace and an 8-5 lead.
Top 10 in the league in service aces per set. She's been consistent back there. And as soon as I say that.
Announcer jinx.
Yes.
It always happens that way, huh?
Kendall Paris to serve.
Kendall Paris, I really think, is one of the unsung heroes of this Kentucky team. I think you can go throughout a match, and as I said to you prior, sometimes you don't notice her, and it's for all the right reasons, because she's where she's supposed to be at all times. She does exactly what she's supposed to do. Really solid middle.
And Marley Monterey, who can get offensive when she wants to, was a good use of that dump.
Crafty.
The second contact.
Crafty. Right now, Madison Lilly in the back row, but I have this feeling with the competitive spirit of these Kentucky players, when she rotates to the front row, I'd be surprised if she doesn't try to become a little offensive herself. Tip for tat.
Once again, Lauren Dooley just taking advantage, standing right there at the net, and her
10 kills to Kentucky's 18. Kentucky +8 in that category. Don't look now, but all of a sudden, Kentucky only has 21 kills in the match to Florida's 18. Make that now Florida's 19, so only a +2 advantage for Kentucky now. That +8 dwindling after set one.
And Chanel Hargraves is helping the Gators stretch the lead out. Now the Gators have scored 5-1 over the Wildcats. Edmond keeps it alive. Stumler right in the block, and this time it goes in favor of the Wildcats.
And you feel like Florida had two advantages in that rally. The ball that came to the net to Dooley, and then another ball that came up to the net to Monterey, and they don't capitalize. In a tight match like this, you got to take advantage of any opportunity where you can get Kentucky out of system. Those are the ones you have to convert.
Is it a matter of just Florida being able to execute in this second set that's helped them, you know, stretch out this lead to 4?
I think it's all about first contact, second contact, third contact working together. Florida producing kills, and some of that has to do with the fact that they have better first contact, maybe better choices on second contact, and even the attackers making better choices with their arm swing right there if they are all going high up off that block.
Stumler going right at Paige Hammonds, and she gets the best of her.
That's a good dig by Leah Edmonds out of the backcourt for Kentucky. Great transition volleyball, converting a good dig into a kill.
Tharp again on the serve. Right to Hall. And Monterey sets Dooley. And record the kill for Leah Meyer. Meyer, a grad transfer from Duke.
And Meyer there, a benefactor of her own defense. She's the one that got a piece of that Dooley swing, allowing Kentucky to transition that. It's Gabby Curry who dives in with a perfect dig, allows Madison Lilly, to have choices. She goes right back to Meyer, and Meyer capitalizes, but it's Meyer who made that possible with the great slowdown on the touch block.
This one a little bit closer to the net. Here's Thayer Hall, and you saw Hall rev up, cock ready, and boom.
And we talk about first contact, second contact working together. A beautiful pass, but Marley Monserrat is able to make a good choice. She feels that middle blocker on her shoulder and shoots one to the outside. A great one-on-one opportunity for Thayer Hall.
Monserrat on the serve. Here's Curry, Lilly, and Stumler. Here's Gregory laying out. Stumler going at it once again. Leah Edmond has been busy. That's all right. She says, if I get busy, so will Allie Stumler.
What great block coverage by Kentucky to give Stumler a second chance. And if I'm Allie Stumler, I'm not afraid to swing aggressively when I know the backcourt's got my back, as they do in Kentucky. They make all those small ball plays. And when I say small, I don't mean unimportant, but that's what you call that coverage, some of that stuff that happens on the court in transition. The small ball plays, they do them so well.
Allie Carlton gets the favorable bounce off the net. Thayer Hall with 9 kills in the match so far on the serve. Lilly sets up Edmond, and Edmond off the arm of Hall.
And it's Hall who has to raise an arm to make a play on that. You wonder, could that have been traveling out of bounds? But then again, from middle back, she's the one that has the best view as to whether or not the ball touches the block. And sometimes in middle back, you choose to make a play on a ball because you think the block touched it.
Dooley couldn't handle it as she was set in the middle by Monserrat, and so Kentucky now within 1.
Kentucky offering block help from left front. That's Leah Edmond coming over to help Kendall Paris in the middle. Dooley sees that, tries to swing away from the block, but maybe trying to do a little too much.
There's Edmond. Lilly bump set to Stumler. Stumler hits it to Monserrat. Paige Hammond's going at it. Gabby Curry is right there. Edmond saved by Monserrat. The attack once again from the Gators. The Wildcats going right back at it. The dig by Allie Gregory, and she hits it over for the free ball. Good rally here. And the Gators win it off the hands of the Wildcats.
And the Kentucky bench was going nuts. They believe the ball sent over the net by Allie Gregory, traveled outside the antenna, and I think we're gonna get a green card. Madison Lilly doing such a good job creating tempo. That's a high hanging pass. I feel like the Florida defense is gonna have all sorts of time to wait on that ball, but Madison Lilly goes up and gets it and flattens it out, and she gets that offense rolling at a much better pace.
Her coach Craig Skinner says feels like she's playing some of her best volleyball right now. Gabby Curry with the save. Leah Edmond makes the adjustment, and wow, what a shot by Leah Edmond to even this up at 14. She knows it.
Huge response from her teammate, because that is smart volleyball with the softest, most perfect touch. We said earlier, Florida's going to ask their offside blocker to release and pick up tip shots. Somewhere on the court there has to be an opening. In that case, the only open spot is shallow there along the net, and Leah Edmond finds it perfectly.
Curry with the tough set, and Stumler could not get to it. Out of system play for the Wildcats, and the Gators have the 15-14 advantage.
Anytime players go to use their hands and try to put their team in position to take an aggressive swing at the ball, I love that. I like that. It's a just miss there on the set.
They set Taylor into the block of the Gators. Remember, the Gators had a 16-team blocks against Kentucky the last time, and Rachel Kramer was the big body in the middle.
And they came in streaks, and they came in sets 2 and 3, the sets that Florida was able to win. Remember, Ajani Taylor did not play in that first meeting. This is her first look at the big Florida block.
Good save there to keep alive by Madison Lilly. Monserrat trying to keep them napping. Couldn't get him. Taylor goes up Here's Hammonds. Hammonds with the shot down the seam.
And Miss Kentucky Volleyball playing some of her best today against the University of Kentucky. Paige Hammonds has been really good.
She's got 5 kills this set. And the up official having a quick conversation with Madison Lilly. And now the teams are set. Gators with the lead. Holly Carlton on the serve. Tries to get this nice touch. Here's Leah Edmond. The approach to Leah Edmond, the speed in which she comes at that ball is like quick and fast.
She's passing deep in the court there in serve receive, and then she just loads, as you said, and comes hard. And again, great tempo created by Madison Lilly. And you got Kendall Paris coming in quick for a quick attack, which holds that Florida middle blocker.
First player from Lexington recruited to the Wildcats program under Craig Skinner. Here's Curry. Stumler trying to go at it. No, thank you, says the Gators.
Rachel Kramer, we said the seniors on this Florida team have never beat Kentucky right here in Gainesville. Rachel Kramer with her last opportunity, one of 4 seniors on this Gator team, making her blocks count here in set 2.
Top 10 for total blocks, block assist, and hitting percentage is the senior Rachel Kramer. Taylor going right back at that Florida block on the left side. No good. Stumler trying to hit the shot. Gregory keeps it going. Out of the back row, Paige Hammonds. What a play and save by the libero, but the Gators stretching it out. They're up by 4. That's a tough one. Rachel Kramer says, I'm going to take full advantage of the opening.
That's impressive. Out of the timeout, Paige Hammonds doesn't miss a beat. Steps back there. So often out of the timeout, a player feels a little pressure to keep that ball in bounds. Maybe they put a little loft on the ball, make it easier on the passer. No such thing. In fact, Paige Hammonds has forced Kentucky to make a substitution, take Leah Edmond out of the back row, which means her offense from the back row no longer an option.
Gators on a 6-1 run.
They go right at Kylie Schmaltz. A beautiful pass by Schmaltz.
And again, the Gator block is coming into play as they are looking sharp in set number 2.
Rachel Kramer playing sharp at the net. She had an interview earlier this week in which she did a great job with NCAA.com, and she said this is always the match that she looks the most forward to.
As you said it, Missy, trying to notch the first win for the seniors against Kentucky, and Paige Hammonds is helping out the upperclassmen.
Paige Hammonds, hard to believe now, a junior for Florida, and she's providing a lot of experience, I feel like, for these Gators here down the stretch in November.
Hammonds giving chase near the Gator bench. It's passed over by Hall. Paris sees that one dug out by Hammonds. Stumler going at it. There's Hammonds once again out of middle back. And the Gators celebrate after that net violation.
Kendall Paris, I believe, catching a little piece of the net there, and so a really smart decision by Rachel Kramer. She didn't feel like the connection was there. She doesn't force it. She goes with the tip shot and draws Kentucky into the net.
They've gone on 6-0 and 9-1 runs in this second set, and Paige Hammonds has helped. She's got 4 service aces, and her team is just playing lights out right now, as they're a point away from evening up the match at 1 apiece.
And the serving of Paige Hammonds is putting just enough pressure on Kentucky that it's allowing Rachel Kramer to release early. She's not having to guess. They don't have the options right now, and that makes all the difference for that middle blocker.
Stumler with the touch, kept alive. Lilly sets Paris. Here come the Wildcats. Taylor having to adjust, and the Gators take set 2.
By the end of set 2, it's all because of that Florida block.
here in set 3, and Lauren Dooley at the net playing big as well. Dooley with a couple of tip shots here and there, and she's had some success up front like that.
She has. She's been really good at those opportunities created from the service line. When you've put the pressure on them, take advantage. Mary Wise said, any time we can get Kentucky out of system, it's so hard to do. You have to score in those situations because points are hard to come by.
And at this point now, it's basically even all. How do you respond? Lauren Dooley says, I'm going to respond with a block.
Great job by Lauren Dooley closing. It's all about the first step, getting there quickly, because if there's a hole in that block, that's a kill, Leah Edmond. Great close by Lauren Dooley.
Thayer Hall on the serve. Madison Lilly sets Leah Edmond, and Edmond gets Florida to send over a free ball. Dooley diving, sacrificing her body.
Whoa, Gabby Curry.
What effort
Goes
on both
and
sides.
Gets it.
And the touch from Kentucky, and Paige Hammond says, yeah, that last touch of Wildcat. Florida, 11 straight points going back to the second set.
And Lauren Dooley, who was not able to close, that's called no man's land. You don't close, you're standing in middle front. What am I going to do? Hey, do anything you can to still help your team. If it includes going to the floor at 6'6", that was impressive.
Off the hands of Carlton and Dooley, and Edmond with the first kill for the Wildcats here in set number 3.
Big Mo looked like it was swinging toward the Gators, and Kentucky's Leah Edmond quiets this crowd.
We saw that great effort by libero Gabby Curry, now on the serve, and a tough one, and she rings up a service ace.
Service ace, point Kentucky.
Gabby Curry, the returning Libero of the Year in the Southeastern Conference, an accolade that so regularly goes to a Kentucky Wildcat. She is one in a long line of fantastic defensive players to make her way through Lexington.
Yeah, they like to call it Libero U.
Yes, for good reason.
Edmond sees a flying Gregory going to the table, was Hall kept alive. Rally continues, and Lilly decides to dump it.
Point Kentucky.
So understands the flow of the game, does Madison Lilly. You've got your opponent on the run, scrambling, come right back at him.
She is playing at an elite level, certainly serves that way for the Wildcats, and Lauren Dooley in the middle. Giving chase was Lauren Tharp, kept alive and keeping it going on this rally. Monserrat to Carlton, down the line.
That's the swing that Florida needs out of Holly Carlton. A little more something on it, a willingness to take a risk in order to find the floor. And when you talk about range, Holly Carlton has great range. She also has the ability to hit all sorts of shots, a deep tool bag.
Too strong from Edmond.
And realize, as we see a couple errors from Kentucky, those are the result of the blocking that we saw in set 2. So the blocking registers points, and then it continues to affect the game as you alter the swing of the attacker and create errors. That's immediate point to the Gators.
And Lilly really confident in Edmond, going right back her way.
Kill for Leah Edmond. Point Kentucky.
And that's the connection that you've seen develop over the years between the junior setter and her senior attacker in Leah Edmond.
Yeah, I mean, no hesitation in must-have situations. Those two are not afraid to go for it. You're not going to see a roll shot, a tip shot. Those two are going to come right at you.
That one handled well from Monserrat, had to bend her body toward the net, but she sets Rachel Kramer.
Monserrat's biggest attribute is her athleticism, her ability to go up at the net and save tight passes. She can reach over, bring them back, as you said, contort her body. She is a really, really great all-around athlete.
And Leah Edmond is a steady force. When you need her to deliver, just keep feeding her the ball, and I think she loves and welcomes that.
She thrives in the most competitive, toughest situations, set point, match point. That's what she's all about.
on the serve. Hall, Monterey, and here's Paige Hammonds.
How many errant balls have we seen out of middle back for Kentucky? Kind of, just last-ditch efforts that one of their teammates chases down and turns into something not so ugly. His second effort for Kentucky has been impressive.
Smacked by Hammonds. Lily sets Stumbler. Stumbler back to Gregory. Boy, these liberals have been playing really well. Hall passing to Monterey. Here's Hammonds again. In middle back is Leah Edmond.
Easy transition situation.
Stumbler again pushes it over. Riley Fisher diving, and Rachel Kramer so tight to the net, nothing she could do with it. And those are those 50-50 balls that have played really in favor of Kentucky for most of the match.
I tell you, Florida needed to go play that ball above the net. Rachel Kramer, I think, tied up there alongside a teammate at the net. I'm not sure if she had the opportunity, but as soon as that drops below the net, that's impossible to play. You got to go up and get it.
The service error from Edmond, and it hands Florida a 7-6 advantage. The 7th service error of this match for the Wildcats. Meanwhile, the Gators have been stellar behind the line, thriving off of Paige Hammond's great serving. And first time we're seeing Caitlin Cooper, number 10, in black.
And Caitlin Cooper did not play in the match on Friday night against South Carolina. We talked about the fact that she's been nursing an injury. She was the starter at the beginning of the season, but limited playing time lately. How will she respond in a tough match?
Stumbler with the cross-court shot. And this one is going to be a back-and-forth battle. You can tell it already here in this third set, as really we've seen a tightly contested battle all afternoon long, with each team kind of breaking away towards the end of each set. And Monterey does her job as she sees 3 black jerseys converge on the ball. 9-7.
And these defenses, both of these setters have the ability to be offensive. So the defenses are looking for it on the tight pass or the ball put up close to the net. But coming off the net, Marley Monterey shows some guts and sends one over.
Stumbler to Hammonds. Monterey setting 20 in white. And the block on that right side with Leah Meyer and Caitlin Cooper. And Cooper, I think they'll credit her with the block as she checks out. And the serving specialist, Lauren Tharp, comes back in.
And this is pretty slowly developing, but wow, Caitlin Cooper, great job holding those hands strong up above the net. And that's where I think creating the tempo that we see from Madison Lily at times, as she speeds that offense up, you don't give the block as much of an opportunity.
That one hit hard by Hall, and Dooley couldn't get to it. And that's normally not a ball that she would keep alive, right, Missy?
Well, there's some youth there. You know, Thayer Hall just took a swing at that ball. If I'm Lauren Dooley, I think I got to make the move to the left and kind of be there for my attacker. That's a ball that Lauren Dooley could have cut off and not even allowed it to cross the net. But I think we're just seeing a little youth there.
16th tie. And this time, the big swing from Thayer Hall, and it falls on the other side. But again, going right at one of the best blockers in the conference in Leah Meyer.
Yeah, there's no easy kills on the floor today, swinging against these blocks, and then what we're seeing out of the back court. Both of these teams digging a lot of balls.
Hall going up again. Here's Edmond. Gabby Curry. Kept alive by Paige Hammonds.
Huge keep alive by Hammonds.
And this one, the block this time, it goes. Again, Leah Meyer, the second best blocker in the SEC at 1.2 blocks per set. She was there. Remember, she had 7 blocks against Florida in their first meeting. Lauren Dooley demolishes that one.
And when your first contact is perfect, it looks so easy, doesn't it? And that's why the pressure that you create, I know fans hate missed serves, but the pressure that's created from the service line is critical because both of these teams are too good to send free balls over the net. That's the sort of side out you're going to see if you don't serve tough.
Again, serving tough, and that is played in favor of the Gators today.
And that's the best kind of tough serve right there, the one that results in an ace. But the coaches will take anything that just disrupts your opponent's offense to the point that you create some sort of advantage for your defense, even just allowing your middle blocker to release early. Sometimes that's all you need. Paige Hammonds gets a little piece of that.
And she goes up, tries to get it, and the point in favor of her club. Coaches' poll ranking is important, but you also want to look at the RPI, and that's one of the things that the committee looks at when you're looking at who will be the top 16 teams to host a regional, or the first and second rounds, rather.
Wow, Allie Stumler out of the backcourt swings at that and covers her own swing. Talk about reaction time.
Holly Carlton, the southpaw, which is so tough with that angle shot, and she gets it inside a 3-meter line. And you look at Florida, they come in number 6 in the RPI. They've played some tough teams. Their only losses have been to ranked opponents.
And realize Baylor and Texas still have to play each other again. Texas taking that first match in 3 easy sets at home. They'll have to travel to Baylor. So then you would expect maybe one of them to drop off.
Well, that match coming up between the Bears and the Longhorns Wednesday. So all eyes will be on that matchup. Meanwhile, Madison Lilly helping to end a 4-0 run for the Gators. Gabby Curry on the serve. Paige Hammonds, there is Allie Stumler back the other way. Leah Edmond going for it, just too cold.
Big time swing by Edmond. But as I sit here and watch this match, it's amazing how well Allie Stumler, Leah Edmond, Paige Hammonds, Thayer Hall are managing their game because they are both, all 4 of those players are passing so many balls in serve receive. They have, again, they go after Thayer Hall.
And Hammonds makes them pay from the left pin.
We said coming in, one of the things to watch for, great outside hitter play. Well, if you're a young outside hitter at home today, you got 4 great ones on the court right now. And they're great because they play every area of the game. They value defense as much as they value offense. They're great passers in serve receive, and they all are threatening from the service line as well.
The block from the Wildcats, and Madison Lilly was there to set her, getting up for that one. 5'11" out of Overland Park, Kansas. She also won the SEC Freshman of the Year a couple of years back.
And last year it was Leah Edmond who was the SEC Player of the Year, but Madison Lilly the Southeast Region Player of the Year. And I think you could have given either of those awards to either one of those young ladies. They are both so important in the success of this team.
Well, the pancake dig by Montserrat kept this one alive and just kind of batted away from Gregory. Here's Hammonds. There's Stumler. And that one is just too tough to defend from Rachel Kramer, but you've got to thank number 21 in white, Marley Montserrat.
It's not often that you see a pancake save after a contact from your own teammate, but that's how it happens for Florida that time. Whatever it takes, that's the sort of defense we're seeing on both sides of the net. Whatever it takes. You know, in middle back, there's players just getting a hand on a ball and one of their teammates running nearly into the stands to keep these balls alive. This has been just a hard-fought battle.
SEC Volleyball at its best, 2 of the elite programs in the conference and all of college volleyball, and Leah Edmond is one of those elite attackers.
Rachel Kramer does a great job there of knowing exactly where Leah Edmond is in serve receive. She makes the right move. She gets over there. It's just an elite swing by an elite player. Perfect pass, Paige Hammonds.
And right down between two Gators in that good spot in that corner pocket, those deep pocket shots. Edmond, a senior class finalist, on the serve, tight to the net, and right there is Caitlin Cooper taking advantage of that tough serve. We're tied at 16. Well, since Cooper has been inserted into the match, she has made a difference. You mentioned the load management for Craig Skinner with her, but he's used her wisely thus far, and she's helped out. Back-to-back service aces there for Leah Edmond to give them the lead.
We talked about the 4 outside hitters in this match and how important they have been. Here's Leah Edmond rotating to the back row thinking, oh, you know, this is going to be tough for Kentucky to score points with her in the backcourt. Well, no, she gets it done from the service line as well.
4-0 run for Kentucky. Monterey sets Kramer, and Kramer gets it off the hands of Edmond, and it bounces down.
Kramer looking like a senior here today with her performance. Both defensively, we saw her come alive in set 2 and block some big balls for Florida. And offensively, she's been very consistent. And that's important for Florida, to keep the middle involved throughout the match. You don't want to just establish it early and go away from it. Keep that middle involved.
Ham is trying to get to that one, but you like the decision from Madison Lilly. You see Leah Edmond taken out and serve receive. She goes to the left pin with Allie Stumler.
Allie Stumler, I tell you, it's hard to imagine this Kentucky team without Leah Edmond, but Allie Stumler is in perfect position to fill those shoes. She is such a great young talent.
And how about the talent from Kendall Paris behind the service line, the ace there for the junior out of Ohio.
And we are seeing the serve-receive battle right now. That serve-pass game. We talked about the offense of Kentucky, the defense of Florida. We said both coaches were quick to point out the importance of the service game. And it was Paige Hammonds in set 2 for Florida who put so much pressure on Kentucky. And now it's a string of servers here for Kentucky that have created problems for Florida. That just misses by Kendall Paris, and Florida will take it.
Again, their senior serving specialist, Chanel Hargraves, checking in for the Gators. Hargraves with 14 aces on the season. They'll go back to Stumler. Here's Thayer Hall, hauled into the block, kept alive by Sarame. Curry finds Stumler. Stumler now with her 14th kill of the match. Allie Stumler, who's out of Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, just a bedroom community out of Louisville, Kentucky. And you talked about how she can fill those shoes for Leah Edmond moving forward. Coach Craig Skinner says she's one that has learned a lot from Leah Edmond.
Yeah, she certainly has. And he said one of the biggest things she's learned is that you cannot let the previous point affect the next point. And I love that about this Kentucky Wildcat team. They never play scared. They never look like they're scared of the next swing. They just go up and get it. And how about going up and getting it by Thayer Hall, who sends one deep into the corner for the Gators. Down to the floor for the Florida passer and Allie Gregory. And Florida's still able to turn that into a really nice-looking offensive play.
Marley Monterey on the serve.
Continue to go at Stumler when she's in the front row. They go at Leah Edmond when she's in the front row.
Off the hands, and Gabby Curry can't get to it. Florida ties it up.
And you can't have success as an outside hitter at a high level if you don't master that shot off the block, because you will regularly have 4 hands in your face. And that was a beautiful shot by Thayer Hall. We've seen it from all 4 of these outsides, how important that shot is.
The overpass, and Thayer Hall says, let me give my team the advantage.
We've talked about the fact that these Wildcats don't play scared. Well, guess what? Neither does Thayer Hall. There's the hammer.
Back at it here, and Monterey on the serve. That one hit the antenna.
Off the block
Off
of
the
Thayer
block.
Hall.
That's
and
right.
She knew it. You saw the look on her face. She was so, so close. Again, it's those left sides of Florida who already do so much for this team, being asked to defend that slide play one-on-one, and they've been very good at it.
There's Lauren Dooley. When they've needed her offense, she has produced 7th kill for the sophomore.
And that's exactly what Florida needs out of Lauren Dooley. She doesn't need to lead them in attempts. She certainly doesn't need to lead them in kills. But when they call on her, can she still be effective? And that's something that Craig Skinner said. He said a balanced attack doesn't mean everyone gets an equal number of looks. But if you're the 4th, 5th, or 6th player in terms of number of attempts, can you still kill the ball? That's what a balanced attack looks like.
Stumler, the great pass. Good offense there from the Wildcats.
And Mary Wise there off the bench motioning that in that particular defensive look, their middle back probably needs to shade to the right even more in order to make a play on that ball.
22 all. Hall, Monterey, and Carlton dug out high in the sky from Tharp. Pushed over by Stumler. Monterey goes to Hammonds, and Hammonds gets the shot down. Paige Hammonds
I
does
feel
it
like
again.
for both of these teams, there's still kills to be found from the right side. For Kentucky, they've gone back to Caitlin Cooper rather than the young Ajani Teeler, and I think they're choosing not to set her because of the load management with her foot. But I think for Florida, there's a gold mine on the right side that Holly Carlton could produce more kills. I think she has to be a little less conservative.
Going to that left antenna, too strong from Leah Edmond, and set point for Florida.
And as a viewer, I know you're thinking, what in the world was she swinging at there? Well, guess what? She's swinging against a really big block there is what she's doing. She's thinking about hands of Rachel Kramer, Holly Carlton. And again, it's the blocks that we've seen that then produce errors. And that's how you accumulate points with good blocking.
Here's Kendall Paris off the hands of Paige Hammonds, and staving off a set point as Madison Lilly trots back to serve.
And it's Paige Hammond.
Hall, Monterey, Kramer gets it! Florida takes the 3rd set. The Gators up 2-1 over the 17th ranked Kentucky Wildcats. Set 4 underway, the dump and heads up play by Madison Lilly.
And Madison Lilly does a great job there disguising it. She steps into the ball the way she would if she were going to set it. She just doesn't give that away. She completely sells the set, goes with the dump.
Curry with the serve to Gregory. Paige Hammonds out of the back row, finds Stumler. On that left pin, there's Leah Edmond off the block, and it's 2-0 Kentucky.
And that's the shot you've got to have when you're swinging against Julian Carlton at 6'6" and 6'7", one of the best blocking combos you're going to see.
Curry again, this time it goes too long. Missy, I think we keep talking about just how important the serve is for both teams. And, you know, Craig Skinner, as we talked about, mentioned the fact that his team served really well against Florida and then kind of went down from there. Do you like their aggressiveness from the service line?
I do. I really do. I think that, you know, they've got to keep going after it. That last miss by Gabby Curry, not a bad miss at all, because she forces Allie Gregory to have to make a decision. She pushes it deep into that corner. The ball is into the net, can be harder to swallow, but you understand those errors because the serve they're asking these players to produce is that low driving serve right over the top of the net tape, and those errors are going to come with that style of serve.
Holly Carlton goes right at that left side, and Leah Edmond extends and holds high hands.
Leah Edmond, we talked about her offense. How about the defense? They haven't challenged her much defensively. They've gone away from Holly Carlton, and that's part of the reason why Edmond owning that right now.
Gregory out of system, bumps it there for Carlton. There's Caitlin Cooper. And Thayer Hall had a perfect opportunity to make a play on it, just shanks it.
Yeah, and she knows it. But I'll tell you what, you can't say enough good things about Caitlin Cooper right here. I love the fact that Kentucky has gone with the experienced player, and yet they're choosing the wise moments to use her. You know, with the foot injury, she's got to manage the load. The team has to help her manage that load, and they're doing just that, but she stepped in and had some key blocks.
She tried to get a hand on that one. It falls out of bounds, and Florida gets the point.
But they are contesting every swing. Both of these big blocks, Florida and Kentucky. That was Caitlin Cooper right there contesting that swing. It makes the attacker think.
That was a tough one to handle from the pass from Edmond, and the point goes to the Gators.
And it looked like there was going to be a gap in that block for Florida, but Holly Carlton does a great job reaching back to her left to take away that swing of Kendall Paris.
9 Florida blocks compared to 6 for Kentucky. Back row attack called on Kentucky.
And I understand what Craig Skinner's saying here. He's saying she was below the plane of the net because Rachel Kramer plays it off Madison Lilly. It's not her intent to be a back row blocker, but she becomes one. Craig Skinner, though, saying she was below the plane of the net. She shouldn't be considered a blocker there.
Leah Edmond, who had 6 kills in that third set alone, is now with 19 in the match. And there's Rachel Kramer.
Perfect pass, kill Rachel Kramer. That's how Florida was able to end set 3. Florida took that timeout. Kentucky took the floor, went right at Thayer Hall. Thayer Hall passes a perfect ball, and Rachel Kramer finishes it. The passing has been key for Florida here.
Giving chase is Edmond. Trying to save it is Madison Lilly. Doesn't matter. Gators get the point.
An errant pass for Kentucky. And again, this game being played out here late in this game from behind the service line. Holly Carlton at 6'7", such a high contact point. As a passer, the ball is literally coming down at you as it comes over the net. She can contact the ball that high.
Carlton has experience on the U.S. Junior National team. And give it to the Wildcats.
And Paige Hammonds, who's been working hard over there at that left pin all day, nearly gets one there. She's called into the net. So just what Kentucky needed, the offense out of Kendall Paris there. Great job.
And Paris now on the serve. Hammonds, Monserrat. Here's Thayer Hall out of the back row. She gets it to fall. Thayer Hall is a player who can do it all for the Gators.
And Florida had actually wanted a substitution prior to that serve. They called for it too late. They were going to put Riley Fisher into the match, but instead Paige Hammonds had to step back into serve receive, and it doesn't matter. Great job there by Thayer Hall taking care of things out of the backcourt.
Hammonds collides with the player. This one out and kept alive, but that one should have been left alone if you're Caitlin Cooper.
Wow. Looked like the ball could have traveled out of bounds had Caitlin Cooper not made a play on it, but she had a free swing up there at the net. You think, okay, no problem. The block of Thayer Hall, rather than give up on that, she goes up and takes away the free swing.
Hall, Kramer, and Monserrat in the front row. Stumler with it, and Hall again with an errant hit.
And Stumler, beautiful. She has to pass that ball from the floor. It's Aaliyah Meyer, the middle blocker, who just bumps one up in the air. But in a broken situation, the ability of Allie Stumler to stay so level-headed and know where the one open spot on the floor, where is the one vulnerable spot in Florida's defense at that time, and she finds it.
Free ball, right back to Stumler, off the hands of the Gators. It's 9-8 Kentucky.
And that's a point for Kentucky from the service line. Credit Tharp there with a nice serve.
Sophomore defensive specialist goes at it again. Thayer Hall right back to Tharp. Curry with the bump set. Leah Edmond coming out of the back row, charging hard.
Are you kidding me? Wow. This, on most teams, is a ball that ends up getting passed over the net. It's going to be a free ball situation. Not on this team. Hangs the ball up in the middle of the court. Gabby Curry, perfect placement, and Leah Edmond doesn't back away.
A 20-kill performance so far for Leah Edmond, the kills leader. And right back was Rachel Kramer coming off the slide.
And as a coach, I think your hope is that every senior plays their best volleyball at the end. Rachel Kramer's leaving it all on the court today. Huge performance from that senior.
Mary Wise has seen a player like Rachel Kramer thrive and grow. And remember, they can finish out the season with their last 2 matches at home, as that one is too long from Hargraves. Hargraves, another one of those seniors looking for their first win against the Wildcats here in Gainesville. Stumler serves it to Hammonds. Here's Thayer Hall going up. Lily. And with a quick set to Leah Meyer. And so now Kentucky trying to get a little out of the timeout, and the service error, the 10th of the match for the Wildcats.
Tell you, this one is all we had expected it to be, Tiffany.
I'm enjoying it. You having fun?
Great match. I have to say, I mentioned it earlier. You look at the box score from the first match, and it was a 5-setter. It was, it was a very close match, and yet this one, I think both teams would agree, they are playing at a higher level. This is a higher level volleyball match. The first match, while it went 5 sets, it was full of streaks, ups and downs. And both of those coaches said, when I talked to them post-match or, eventually in weeks later, that I said, what's the next step for your team? And they both said playing consistently. There were moments of brilliance for each team in that first match, but today we've seen extended, brilliant play.
And really what I like about both of these teams is they're matching each other. Like, you can't get too far out ahead, especially in the, start and middle of a set.
Right.
Because they are going back and forth. They're matching one great play with another great play on the other side. And Allie Stumler off the hands, out of the back row, that big attack for her. And Stumler, the sophomore, who you mentioned has great promise moving forward.
When you have your senior, Leah Edmond, in left front, and the setter there chooses to go to sophomore Allie Stumler out of middle back, it speaks to the confidence they have in this young player.
And the service ace, ring it up for Madison Lilly. Madison Lilly is one of those players who has just gotten better at each facet of her game.
Yeah.
She's done a great job setting the middles compared to last year. She distributes well on this offense, although today it's been a lot of Leah Edmond and Allie Stumler.
And how about Thayer Hall leaving that last pass in the rearview mirror, stepping back in, passing the next ball, nails right to her setter's hands. I think Thayer would be the first one to tell you she didn't have her best passing night on Friday. Kentucky very much aware of that. They obviously watch a little film. They have gone after her today.
Lilly setting Edmond. There's Allie Gregory right there. Monserrat, Paige Hammonds. Right back is Curry. Stumler leaves it with a no doubt. The celebration, though, afterward, Missy, I gotta say I enjoy it too, really on both sides.
It's fantastic. I tell you what, this is like no blockers at the net for Allie Stumler. Open net, and she just unloads. But look how low and fast that offense is out of the backcourt for Kentucky.
Great dig there by Madison Lilly. Here's Stumler going up with the touch, and Paige Hammonds is there to get it. Carlton. And out of bounds, and a 17-12 advantage for Kentucky, their largest of the third set.
That's where Florida needs a smarter swing. You know, I mean, Marley Monserrat comes flying in, doing everything she can just to get hands on the ball. Come in with a smarter swing if you're Florida.
And quickly setting the middle. Again, we've seen success today when Monserrat has set both Kramer and Dooley.
And there's a pop on Rachel Kramer's swing today that isn't always there. This is a senior who knows she has an opportunity in front of her on her home court in Gainesville to take down last year's SEC champion in Kentucky.
Stumler with a smart shot selection there.
Are you kidding me? This Allie Stumler is so much fun to watch. She is a complete gamer. She learned it from one of the best in Leah Edmond, but to see her go up and just play so aggressive, so hard, so strong, and then so smart.
She impacts the match in so many different ways, her coach Craig Skinner says. And
he said sometimes you don't see it on the stat sheet,
yeah,
but I think if you're present today, watching this, either at home or here with us, you're certainly seeing it.
There's Cooper. Cooper with the attack error.
Paige Hammond's last couple serves, Gabby Curry.
They have 10 team blocks, and it's helped keep them in this one, especially set 2. Leah Meyer right to Paige Hammonds. Riley Fisher bump set over to Thayer Hall, and Hall hits it to Gabby Curry. Leah Edmond.
And there it is again, the back row attack, whether it be Edmond or Stumler, both as lethal. And Florida said one of the things they learned in their pre-conference schedule, playing the likes of a Minnesota, playing the likes of a Stanford, and then even in their first match against Kentucky, was the importance of defending the back row attack. They know that that's going to be important against elite level teams, and right now Kentucky definitely winning that battle.
Rachel Kramer now with a dozen kills, and you have said it all match long, Missy. This senior is playing on another level.
And I tell you, I got to credit Marley Monserrat right here for the balance she is creating in this Florida offense and the way she's delivering the ball to Rachel Kramer. At 6'8", she can be a difficult player for smaller setters to set, and Marley Monserrat has found her rhythm with Rachel Kramer, doing a really, really nice job.
Kramer, the tallest player in Florida history at 6'8", and Leah Edmond back to Thayer Hall. Monserrat sets Hall again, gets it down.
Another great choice by Marley Monserrat. Your first instinct there is to set Dooley in transition. You know, Thayer Hall just hit the last ball, but guess what? That's what Kentucky was expecting too. The middle waits. They delay just a half a second, and she pushes it beyond to Thayer Hall, who has a hole in the block. Nice choice by Monserrat.
Monserrat, who comes behind her All-American sister, and Allie Monserrat, former Florida setter. The attack error against Kentucky, and Florida now within 1.
And if you're beginning to wonder, is Allie Stumler human? I suppose she is. An error by Allie Stumler, who has been phenomenal.
To Stumler, they set her right back, and what a shot choice and selection by Allie Stumler. She gets it in serve receive. Madison Lilly goes right back to that left pin and sets her up.
Well, do you know that Florida typically releases their left front? But remember, it's Stumler who's had all sorts of success rolling the ball into left front. So that time, Thayer Hall says, I'll stay home and defend. And what does Allie Stumler do? Responds with the shot to the one open spot on the floor.
And that one coming hard off the hands of Thayer Hall.
And we've talked about Madison Lilly creating tempo for the Wildcats. Marley Monserrat, great tempo on that set out to Thayer Hall.
For as much as we give all the love to the outside hitters, these setters are also quite dynamic in their own right.
Yeah, Marley Monserrat, SEC Setter of the Week this week.
Off the hands and coming right to us at the table. And we're tied at 20.
Kentucky getting exactly what they want, one-on-one opportunities. And Florida is just saying, okay, this is where we are. We only got one blocker out here, and we are going to step in and challenge. And credit Thayer Hall and Paige Hammonds for the way they have handled those one-on-ones at the net, reaching in, taking away that shot. A miss there from the service line just when Florida felt like they had the momentum.
This one goes long, and they hand it right back the 27th time.
Thayer Hall to serve.
The pressure.
Did we mention there's a lot at stake today, Tiffany?
It is mounting here. The Gators have a half-match lead over Kentucky. They want to maintain their spot in the driver's seat, and service aces like that certainly help their case trying to close out the Wildcats.
Have we used the term gamer?
Yeah.
I think we have, describing maybe Allie Stumler. I think it applies to Thayer Hall as well, by the way.
Oh, she brings it.
She does.
Another tough serve. This time Paris going up.
Huge
Gators.
block touch by Paige Hammonds.
Stumler saves it. Free ball over from the Wildcats. Lily sets Edmond. The block touch, it bounces out of bounds. Point Kentucky.
And Florida with a free ball opportunity, not quite able to convert. I think in a lot of matches, Marlee Monterey would have gone back to Holly Carlton there, but she has not been real successful with Leah Edmond blocking her. So I like the choice. Paige Hammonds had the hot hand. She goes out to her. Doesn't work in your favor.
Lily to Hall. Here's Holly Carlton. Can she get it done? Dug out by Lily. Bump set from Curry. Out of the back row is Stumler. Monserrat to Thayer Hall. Big hit there.
What you can do, I can do better. Maybe? I don't know if it's better, but they are both so incredibly good.
17 kills for Thayer Hall. Her team clinching to a 1-point lead. Leah Edmond trying to bring her group back. And the net violation ties it at 23. Oh boy.
Wow.
Kentucky trying to extend this match. And off the service error, match point for Florida.
We've talked about how important
Holly Carlton serving for match point. Dug out by Hall, kept alive by Monserrat. Free ball, Lily. And this one drops in. The big kill from Kendall Paris ties it at 24.
Kendall Paris getting it done. Like I said, what an unsung hero this player is. She does. They go to her in a situation that could be match point for Florida, and she delivers.
And now she has to control some things from behind the service line. Tough serve. Paige Hammonds gets a hand on it. Allie Gregory saves it. And Lily sets Meyer. Monserrat to Kramer. Stumler finds Thayer Hall. Paige Hammonds with a solid hit. Stumler right there with the joust, kept alive. What a rally. Stumler going at it. A career high. 21 kills in this fourth set alone. Excuse me, in this match alone. Set point Kentucky. Cooper finds Riley Fisher, keeps it alive. Bump set and free ball opportunity. Lily Sets Stumler, does it again! And Kentucky grabs the 4th set! Wow, we're going to 5! Yes. When you look at Kentucky, their lone win in a 5-set match came against their team,
That's right.
the team they're facing on the other side of the mat.
They had struggled in 5-setters. Up to that point, they lost back-to-back 5-setters on their home court. I think the first time since 2015 they'd been beaten back-to-back matches at home against both Indiana and Purdue, both 5-setters. Did not feel like they competed with the fiery spirit that they're known for. Really wanted to turn that around, and I would certainly say it looks like they have.
Lily to Meyer. Here's Monterey bump set from Gregory, and Carlton goes up at it. Leah Edmond off the hands of the Gators.
And in those situations where Florida's out of system and they have to bump set the ball to the right side, I feel like they need a little more from Holly Carlton there.
Thayer Hall met by the block and denied on that right side.
Kentucky grabbed the momentum, as you said, at the end of set 4, and they are certainly running with it here in set 5 in this reduced set 5. 1st to 15, remember.
Got some hands on it. Curry is there, out of the back row. Stumler tried to do that soft touch, didn't work. Carlton right back over. They set their offense and punched by Hammonds. And with the free ball opportunity, we'll see what the Wildcats offense can do. They go to Stumler. And Allie Stumler has been money from everywhere on the court, this time out of the back row again.
But notice Gabby Curry stepped in and cleaned up that free ball. She said, I got this, placed a perfect ball into Madison Lily's hands. She had all sorts of options there.
Hall hits it to Stumler. Lily to Edmond, and a 4-0 lead for Kentucky in the...
To the level of play in the league we've seen this year, Coach Skinner said that every team has talented players. There's great coaching up and down. It's hard to win games on the road.
Curry handles it. Edmond, and off the hands and out of bounds from the Gators. 5-0 Kentucky.
And this is what I'm talking about. This is my favorite thing about a Leah Edmond-led group of players. Set 5 does not look any different than if you were up 10-0 in set 1. You can't tell by watching this Wildcat team where they are in a match. They never change the way they swing at the ball.
Thayer Hall decided to take something off of that, wisely does so. It drops in the first point of the set for the Gators.
Gabby Curry wants a towel as they mop up the floor, and that'll give Thayer Hall a second to catch her breath before she puts the ball in play.
Wisely done, but Monterey was right there and ready for it. Edmond into the net.
And I think we're going to see a challenge here from Craig Skinner.
His second challenge of the match. He didn't win his first one, but he has one remaining.
And I noticed one of his assistants, I can't read lips perfectly, but immediately motioning to him. And you're not sure at that point if they really think there's something to challenge or if he's simply saying, hey, you still got 3 challenge cards. You know, you could use one of those instead of wasting a timeout, which is always an option when you get to this 5th set. You are actually given an additional challenge in the 5th set.
And the question that Craig Skinner wants to raise is, did the ball hit the floor on that pancake dig? And by that video, it looked like Monterey got a hand underneath it.
I think so.
They're so far 0-2, 0 for 2 today with challenges. Stumbler out of the back row again, adding to her career day for the Wildcats.
And the back row attack for Kentucky has just been phenomenal. Florida block, even when they're able to get a touch on that ball, spraying the ball high off their hands, it's been undefendable.
Here's Monterey to Carlton. Carlton right back to Gabby Curry, who handles it. And a double contact called on the Wildcats.
Madison Lilly just not able to get there in time to get those feet set and to get herself situated at the net to make a clean contact. Really difficult play for her.
And with that kill, that's a career high for Leah Edmond, now with 28 kills in this match.
I'll tell you, most people will tell you that to make a run deep in the tournament, you got to have a really elite outside hitter. Kentucky, 2 really elite outside hitters, has positioned themselves to make a very deep run in the tournament.
We told you at the beginning of this match you would see some of the best to do it, and Rachel Kramer has been outstanding from that middle blocker position. She is really trying to will her team here.
She is, and Marley Monterey being pulled off the net, goes ahead and hangs the ball up there for Rachel Kramer. There's some young setters who would be scared there to miss that connection, but she goes for it. I like the guts.
They got the offense that they wanted. Stumbler just hit it too hard. 7-5. Now Florida down by 2. Here's Carlton. Edmond, Lilly, Stumbler trying again and again. This time it's off the hands. And Kentucky 8-5 as they switch sides.
Midway through set 5, that shortened set to 15, the teams will switch sides. When the first team reaches 8, that's Kentucky right now with a 3-point lead.
Have you noticed them playing better on one side of the court than the other?
I haven't. Have you?
No, not at all.
I feel like they both played pretty well on both sides.
All the way.
Let's get that place going again. Come on, make some noise.
And Kendall Perez, who was the unsung hero in that 4th set, now back to serve. Monterey sets Thayer Hall in the back row. Lilly got a hand on it, but they couldn't get to it. And the Gators with their 6th point.
And that's a huge swing by Thayer Hall, because not only does she match the back row offense that we're seeing from Kentucky, but with that swing, she rotates to the front row. She's a big point scorer for Florida. They've got Rachel Kramer alongside her. This could be a really good rotation for them.
They set Stumbler. Wiley Fisher is there awaiting. Thayer Hall going at it. Stumbler going again. Pushed over by Cooper. Good opportunity off 1 foot, and Rachel Kramer, who's been on one today.
Tell you, Rachel Kramer had a slow start this season at the beginning of her senior year, and a lot of people were like, where's Rachel Kramer? What's going on with her? Hey, if you haven't noticed, she's right here today, carrying her teammates along with her.
She's a 2-time All-American out of Phoenix, Arizona. It's Lilly to Cooper. Cooper with the touch and over the tall block along that left side, and it falls.
And Cooper has been just enough on the right side. Wow, she has been a potent punch. You know, they haven't gone to it often, but when they do, she has made it count.
And this time, Rachel Kramer trying to go at it again, but how about Allie Stumbler? What can't she do? What hasn't she done today?
I'm telling ya. Leah Meyer making her presence felt. We haven't seen the offense from Meyer today that we've seen in some of her other matches in SEC play, but that's a big moment right there.
That sails long. The service era is continuing to mount up against Kentucky in this match, and they've given away 14 points to the Gators in this match.
In a match this close, those are big errors.
Stumbler again, counted. And the decision for Madison Lilly to continue to feed the hot hand, both career performances from Stumbler and Edmond, but Stumbler's
elite athleticism as she's floating out past the antenna there, and she still just kills the ball with ease.
Monterey handles it. Thayer Hall gets it off. And if there's one thing that's for sure, Thayer Hall is going to fight to the final point.
You better believe it.
She's got 20 kills on the match. Opportunity. Here are the Gators. Holly Carlton. And Lilly, who will she set? Allie Stumbler, why not? Keep going back to number 17 in black.
And Madison Lilly's delivery in terms of the timing of when she's going to the back row attack and the placement of the ball for those players flying out of the backcourt, that ball has to be placed just right, and it certainly has been. Mary White is going to her green card, and I believe what she's looking for here is a back row attack violation, meaning that Allie Stumbler would have stepped on the 3-meter line as she took off. And again, both of these coaches with some challenge cards in their pocket, and you better believe they're going to pull out all the stops here in the 5th set.
Yeah, I don't mind that from Mary Wise. I think it's a good time to kind of take a break, regroup your team, as you might get something to go in your advantage. Because right now, Allie Stumbler has 5 kills in this set, and you see the impassioned speech right now from the Florida head coach.
And so you can land in front of the 3-meter line, of course, as you see Allie Stumbler and Leah Edmond go flying through the air on these back row attacks, but you have to be behind that 3-meter line when you take off, and it looks as though with the review they've confirmed that Allie Stumbler was behind the 3-meter line. And that point will stay with Kentucky as we continue on here, Kentucky leading 12-9.
It's been a luxury for Madison Lilly to set some terrific outside hitters with Leah Edmond and Allie Stumbler. Here's Hall going up. Curry is there. Lilly, this time setting Kendall Paris, the overpass, and right there! Oh, Madison Lilly emphatically hits that one.
Timeout, Florida.
And Florida spins their final timeout of the 5th set. Wow. Florida has 60 as a team.
Wow.
Hall, Gabby Curry gets a hand on it. Stumbler keeps it alive, and Lilly sends it over.
The second effort by Stumbler, and the free ball conversion. That's it for Florida. That's the difference. You get a free ball, someone has to put it away.
And we saw Florida have success behind the service line earlier in this match, and Thayer Hall can add some more points if she can serve tough. Edmond right to Hall. Here's Paige Hammonds off the hands. And this is a rally that Florida wants right about now. They're trailing by 2.
Craig Skinner's going to use one of his timeouts.
Are leading in the conference, but Kentucky can grab hold and tie for that first spot if they can hold on and get a win here in Gainesville. Thayer Hall on the serve. Lilly tight to the net, sets Edmond, and Edmond just waited forward, and match point now for Kentucky.
And they will have several match points here in this 5th set. Remember, it was Florida who had match point in set 4, and the Wildcats would not go away.
Monterey, and there's Thayer Hall, who came charging out of the back row.
Mary Wise said when we recruited Thayer Hall, we had seen her compete at every level, from club to high school to international. I said, did you know she was a fighter? And she said, sometimes you can't tell, but with her, we knew it.
Tough pass handled at the net. Cooper hits it over. Bump set from Kramer. Free ball opportunity. The Wildcats have a chance to close it out here. They give it to Leah Edmond. It's in! Kentucky does it again! 4th straight win here in Gainesville.